Hi, welcome. If this is your first time joining me, I am so glad that you're here. If you're coming back after we got disconnected earlier, I apologize and I hope that you're able to watch this today and learn a lot from it. Well, my name is Abby. I am the founder of Senior Savvy, and what I do is I help relieve tech stress so you can excel in today's world. Today, we're going to talk about how to host your own Zoom meeting. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm never going to host. My kids always start it for me. I just join. I don't host. Well, I used to think the same thing too. In fact, when I first started using Zoom, I found it excessively complicated. And I thought to myself, holy smokes, this is so excessively complicated. How am I ever going to teach my classes on Zoom? And how am I going to teach other people to use Zoom? It's so challenging. There are so many settings. But I realized I love to teach and I want to make an impact in your life. And I had to lean in and just get to know it. And I found after a while, it was a lot like riding a bike. I got used to the settings. I started to understand things a little bit more and more. And I know you are too. Now, I also know that the way our world is right now, there are times that we're not going to be able to get together and meet in person. And I want you to be able to continue doing the things you love to do, like join up with your book club and have a Bible study and meet up with family and friends online. And because of that, I want to teach you today how you can host your own Zoom meeting when you want to. I'm not saying you're going to do it all the time or you're going to become the host of every meeting, but when you want to, I want to impart the skills to you so you can do just that. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen with you. Screen sharing is a function of Zoom. And let me cue this up. Okay, like I was saying, screen sharing is a function of Zoom. And I'm going to teach you how to do just that today. Now, a lot of people know how to join meetings and they're still kind of curious about hosting meetings. And that's really where this class has its origins. There are two different subscriptions that you could have to Zoom. There's the free one, which is great, and it's going to give you pretty much everything except the ability to host a longer meeting, longer than 40 minutes. So if you already know your meetings are usually about a half hour long, nothing more, you know what? The free version is going to be perfect for you. My meetings, they're always about an hour long. And I just found, because I'm a clock watcher, I was getting very anxious that my meeting was going to end before everyone was ready to leave. And so I just had to extend my subscription to the pro version, which is $15 a month. You can definitely get by without doing that if you don't host longer meetings. Now, all of the settings I'm sharing with you today are in the free version. So I don't want you to think, oh, Abby's got the pro version. She has access to all of these settings. No, not so. I am doing this today from the free version, okay? Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to log into the zoom.us website. And there you're going to fill out an account if you haven't already, but I think you have. And from there, once you sign in, go ahead and click on your settings. The settings are pretty technical. And so what I'm going to do for the next 5 or 6 slides is just go through and tell you how I like to have my settings so that I can best manage my meetings. All right. Now, because you're watching this on the recorded version, you can start and stop it, start and stop it. You can open up your own Zoom account and make these changes in real time if you want to. Feel free to email me any questions that you have about why I chose this over this. I'm here to answer any questions for you. So the first one I like to have is a waiting room so that when I have a meeting, you can wait in the waiting room until I arrive and then I can greet you. Next, I like to embed a passcode into my link. This way, it's one less thing you have to type in or figure out before you can start the meeting. And I want to keep things simple. So I just select embed passcode into the meeting invite link for a one-click join. I like to start my meetings with my video on, and if possible, your video's on as well. I think it just makes for a faster starting point. I always like to have my meeting controls available to me. I don't want them hiding away down below, so I've selected always show meeting controls. I've also turned on the screen sharing because if you want to show me something on your screen, I want that setting to be established right away. And so I don't have to leave the meeting, go onto the Zoom website and turn that part on. Now I like to be able to have the chat feature available. And the chat is great when you want to send a message directly to your host or to your friend. You can send one to everyone or send one privately to one person. I really like those meeting reactions. Here's the thing I like about them. They allow you to communicate with the other people in your meeting along with your host. There you go. They only stay up there for about 5 to 7 seconds, and then they drop down and disappear. The only one that will stay up there longer is the hand raising one. And I also like to have the closed captioning option. Now, right now I'm running some subtitles on my PowerPoint that you're seeing, but there is the ability to have closed caption subtitles on during your Zoom meetings. We're all watching TV with the subtitles as is, and I like my meetings to be just as comfortable as if you're watching TV. Now, if you want to try one of those virtual backgrounds, you would want to make sure that you had this setting toggled on. This way, it's available to you if you decide to do that. And now I'm going to talk about 3 different ways that you can host your Zoom meetings. The first way is through the Zoom website. And when you log on, up at the top, you'll see a couple different options. Well, you can schedule a meeting right there, which we're going to talk about. You can join a meeting. That's been there for a while. And you can also host a meeting. So in this instance, we're going to schedule a meeting. Maybe it's a book club. What I want to encourage you to do is be able to put in the topic, the date. If it's a reoccurring meeting, say every Tuesday at 3. And then from there, you're going to have to determine if you want Zoom to assign a PMI, a personal meeting ID, to your account. I say yes, because I like to know that my meetings are always in the same personal meeting room. And this way people can find me easily. The second way to host a meeting is from the desktop app. Now, when you are going to use Zoom from an application, the benefits are that you can create certain settings that you don't get when you're on the website. And they're settings that you want to have. They're going to help you facilitate a better meeting. When you are ready to use the desktop app, the first thing you got to do is download it from the zoom.us website. You go to the Zoom homepage, look at the bottom, and you'll see that it's really small. It's like size 6 font, but it is there. And you're going to click on the first one, Meetings Client. From there, you're going to select the first option. And the Zoom app is called the Zoom Client for Meetings, and you're going to go ahead and download that. It's the same for a Mac or a PC, and you're going to do the download. And in the same way, you're going to want to update your Zoom application almost monthly. Zoom comes out with some new features all the time, and it's refining its process. So you want to make sure that your Zoom app is up to date. Once you open up the Zoom application, it usually looks like this rectangle here on the left and has maintained this look for quite a while. There's typically 4 different options. There's new meeting, join a meeting, schedule, and share screen. Now in this instance, we're going to schedule a meeting, but if you were going to host the meeting and just start it like that, you'd click on new meeting. Once you click on schedule, it's a pretty similar form here that you'll fill out as you would on the Zoom website. Same type of thing. You put your name in, the date and time, select the meeting ID, whether or not you're going to use the waiting room, and then you save it. Now, when you save it, what are you supposed to do with it? Well, what you're probably going to do is email it, right? You're going to want to invite your participants to your meeting. So you're going to click on that copy invitation. And when you copy the invitation, it gets copied like onto a virtual clipboard. It's like that copy paste thing that we all come to know and love in Microsoft Word, for instance, copy paste. So it copies the invitation, it holds it in a virtual clipboard while you open up your email, and it doesn't matter if it's Gmail or Outlook or Yahoo, it doesn't matter. When you open up your email, you're going to paste the invitation into an email. Now, when I paste the invitation, I then get rid of all the other gobbledygook and all the phone numbers and everything like that. I get rid of it because I think it's complicated. And it complicates the fact that I just want you to be able to come to my meeting. And more often than not, people are attending the meeting. They're not calling into the meeting. So I sometimes will highlight my meeting ID. Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger. And now the third way to host a meeting is from the mobile app. The mobile app is something you would use on your phone or on a tablet. And I have clients that only have tablets, so they join Zoom meetings on their tablet. And just about once a week, I have to take a Zoom meeting on my phone. I don't prefer it that way. I'd like to be able to see you on a big screen, not on my little phone. But it's convenient when I need to be able to do that. So this is the way it looks when it's on your phone. It's very vertical. And if you're going to schedule the meeting, you could do it right there from the phone. You can start a new meeting. You can even join a meeting. Now I've got a couple of host tips I want to share with you. And when you are ready to start that meeting, you can do it 2 ways. The first way is from the Zoom website, and I showed you that, where you can click on host a meeting and the meeting will begin. And then the second way is from the Zoom app, and you click on new meeting there. When you open up your meeting and you start the meeting, usually what happens is you get a screen like this, or your camera turns on. And I just want to point out some of these features on the screen to you so you know what they all mean. The one at the top left, that's for recording. And I happen to record all my meetings because I like to send my classes to the community so they can watch them later. Now down at the bottom, that is your meeting control toolbar. And we talked earlier about how you can toggle on that setting so that that toolbar stays up there all the time. I like that feature. I don't want this thing to drop down and disappear on me. I like to be able to see my meeting toolbar at all times. And then up there, top right, you see the view. And we're going to head there in just a minute. But first, I want to show you how you can invite someone to a meeting even if the meeting's already started. Because sometimes you may have invited the book club and left one person out, or maybe there's a new person who wants to join. When you click on the participants button, you can then go ahead and copy the invitation and then paste it into an email. If you want to see who else is in the meeting with you, and sometimes there's a whole lot of people, you may not know who's in there, you can click on the participants, and that'll give you a list of everyone along with who has their cameras on and whose mics are muted. Right next to the participants button is the chat feature. And the nice thing about the chat option is that you can determine if you want to chat with the host directly, with everyone, or with one other participant. So if you just wanted to submit a question to your host will see that you sent it to them, or you can put a chat in there for everyone to see. And truly, this just helps your engagement and your interaction during the meeting without interrupting everyone else. Now, when you want to share your screen, what you can do is click on the green Share Screen button. My recommendation to you is that you prep your share in advance. Get it ready. Open up the application, get the Word doc ready before you start your Zoom meeting so that it's already open and becomes one of these options when you click on the Share Screen button. Once you click on the screen you want to share, if it's a video or if it has music in it or sound, you're going to want to select the two features at the bottom. The first one says Share Computer Sound, and the second one says Optimize for Full Screen Video Clip. And then you have to click the blue Share button at the bottom right. So if nothing's happened, make sure you've clicked the blue Share button down there. Now, when you want to go ahead and change the view, you want to take it from speaker view to gallery view, for instance, because you want to see everyone that's in the meeting, you're going to click up on the top right where the view button is, and you're going to change the screen view. Also, keep in mind that Zoom is going to highlight the person's screen who is talking. And that's really handy to have, especially if you're in a large meeting and you can't tell who's talking. Look for the green outline. Additionally, there are times where I want to be in speaker view so that I can see everyone at the very top of my screen, which is closer to my web camera. So my eyes are going up and not towards the middle of my screen. Now, I just want to thank you for joining me. If you would like to submit a testimonial of how these classes have helped you, please reach out to me, okay? And if you have any questions about any of this information, I want you also to reach out to me. It is my honor and my pleasure to serve you every week. Now, I'll look forward to hearing from you. If you ever want to do a mock meeting together, we can do that one too, okay? And thank you again for joining me. Have a wonderful day.